What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man Cam. Got my man Clevon up in the Northwest. How you feeling, Clevon?
Feeling fantastic, Cam. How about yourself?
I'm great, and we got a special guest in the house, Mr. Jim Trotter, NFL Network. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, bro. I don't know about special, but I'm good, man.
You special to the Voice of the Fans. We appreciate you. The fans appreciate you. Fans appreciate your feedback. As we do each and every week, we're going to review week 4 recap of the NFL action, week 5 preview. Today, Clevon, we're going to reveal our top 75 NBA players, considering NBA is about to start around the corner. We got our 75 identified already. And then, as always, fans, we're going to give you this week in history, and then we're going to go through our fantasy football league.
Cleveland. Y'all went 75 deep on the NBA? Y'all put
75.
We had 75, man. 75 players. So, so fans, we want to thank you guys for tuning out. We shout out to the guys at HNB Media for producing the show. Shout out to everybody listening to us. However you listen to us, we certainly appreciate you guys for tuning in. And once again, we got Mr. Jim Trotter. Jim, let the people know where they can find you.
NFL Network, NFL.com, and Twitter at JimTrotter_NFL.
Okay. It's October 6, 2021. This is week 159 of the show. Each week we do it, Jim, we start off with our numbers. With it being October 6th, we use the number. Think of the number 6. When you hear that number, who wore that number best, or who comes to your mind first?
Oh, man. The number 6. Ooh. What was – see, I'm going to show my ignorance here, but I'm trying to remember. What was Bill Russell's number?
Bill Russell's
number 6.
Yeah, so
Bill Russell
would be that guy.
Okay. Who you got, Cleveland?
The person that comes to mind first, Cam, is Julius Erving, Dr. J, with the Sixers, rocking the baby to sleep. Winning the chips, winning the slam dunk contest. He comes to mind first. But
I'm glad you went there. And I'm gonna let you keep it right there. We don't need to hear anything else from you.
Okay, we'll keep it right there then. You don't want to hear, because you already know where I was going. I was going to agree with JT. Yeah, the person who wore it the best was, Bill Russell, the person that, the trophy's named after.
I thought you were going to try to say something else, but yeah, okay.
Oh, I know where you thought I was going. You thought I was going to who is going to be anointed the best number 6 after he puts it on this season, being LeBron King James. Right. I know where you were going with that.
You ruined it right there. Okay, let's move on to number 59.
King is switching numbers this year?
King is switching to 6. He wanted to do it last year, but they had already produced too many 23, so they wouldn't let him do it because he was going to give the 23 to Anthony Davis. But this year he can do it.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're talking to he's a fair weather Laker fan over there. Just jump on the bandwagon.
I don't know how fair weather it is. I think I ride pretty tough, but that's okay.
Just bandwagon hopper right there.
That's all right.
Number 59. When you think of that number, Jim, when you think of number 59, who wore that number best, or who first come to your mind?
59. Let me think for a minute. And 59. 59. God, I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Well, you'll know this guy who played for the Philadelphia
Eagles. You got London Fletcher.
London Fletcher's actually a good one. I didn't think about that one. Yeah. That's a great one. The touchdowns, Super Bowl saving tackle right there. But I was thinking Seth Joyner played linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles behind the great Reggie White and that defensive line that they had. Really, he had a chance to shine.
Yeah.
And then Cleveland, you have anybody outside of Seth Joyner?
I'm gonna come real obscure with the first person that comes to mind, and it was a cat that played linebacker for the Seattle Seahawks. A cat named Julian Peterson had a little bit of an impact for a moment. It was kind of like that little extra spark they needed. Didn't quite give them all that they really needed at the time, but certainly was a integral part of that defense at the time. But also Yeah, I think Jack Hammond is the only one that is an actual Hall of Famer with the gold jacket, to be perfectly honest with you.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, we like to start the show off, just kind of jog people's memory, remember, see what kind of are, especially our guests, see what they're thinking.
Bro, when you get to my age, it ain't many brain cells left.
Well, is that an age thing? Is that an age thing, Trotter? Or is that living in San Diego thing?
Even when I was younger, there weren't that many to shake. But definitely when you get older, you lose what few you have. So
yeah, we try to have fun.
It takes a minute.
All right, man. So we're gonna jump into this, man. We really appreciate you joining us because we need some opinions that unbiased opinions.
Objective, JT, at the very least.
Sure.
Because Clevon will tell you, and I'm starting jumping right into it. I want to know, have you ever heard of or when's the last time, I'm sure it's been done before, but when's the last time you heard of a quarterback going out on the field before he actually makes the play call in the huddle? He hears from offense coordinator A, offensive coordinator B, and then he has a third guy relaying the play into his headset. When's the last time you heard of that, and then actually heard of that working?
I can't say that I've actually heard of it. I know there have been times I didn't document it, but it was always curious to me to see, say, a head coach make a call, then it goes to the OC, and then it would go in typically to the player, or sometimes then it would go through the quarterback coach and then to the player. And I never quite understood that. My thing was always whoever is making the initial call should just be the one talking to the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, some places probably feel that if a quarterback is comfortable, let's say he's working with the offensive coordinator every day, or he's working with a quarterback coach every day, right? He's not working with a head coach who is a play caller every day, because a head coach has so many other responsibilities that maybe he feels more comfortable with a certain voice in his ear during a game. I don't know. Sports is so weird, man. It's like from the outside, we look at things and we say, why is that done? It makes no sense. And then you get inside, if people will let you in and be open and honest with you, and you realize it doesn't just happen for no reason, that typically there is some thinking behind it. So it's a long-winded way of getting back to your question of saying, I don't remember a specific time. I know of it, but it doesn't surprise me. And again, people have different reasons for doing strange things to us. It's strange to us.
So you know what I'm talking about, right? You know what team I'm referring to, right?
Which team you're referring to?
So though I am a Seattle native, I've been riding with the Miami Dolphins since the Killer Bees.
Bro, but I mean, here's the thing with the Dolphins. Brian Flores has had a different offensive coordinator every year that he's been there.
Whose call is that?
It's his call.
Okay.
It's his call.
Okay.
And I'll be frank with you. This offseason, when he was looking for a coordinator again, I talked to some of the people who were interviewing, and I can tell you for a fact that they had concerns about whether or not they really wanted to take that job if offered. Because, there's a saying, Herm Edwards used to say this to me, that the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. And so if you're looking at Brian Flores, and every year he's changing offensive coordinators for whatever reason, and I don't, that's a problem. That would be a problem for me if I were to interview for the job. So that is another way again of saying they just do things a little different down there.
They've been doing things a little different for a lot of years, a lot of decades, I should say. I've been living through it. And Clevon, I'll tell you that my fandom is waning. I'm not happy with what's going on, and I'm much less happy with. I really want Chris Grier and I really want Brian Flores to do well for obvious reasons. However, when Chris Grier selects, we hit on one player of our first round draft picks. We have 5 of them. They hit on one player.
Bro, this is a true story. After the game Monday night, late after the game, I'm talking to Tom Telesco, and I asked Tom, I said, have you sent a thank you note to Chris Greer yet? You know?
Wow.
And that's no slight on Tua. I mean, honestly,
I don't know why it's not.
No, it's not a slight on Tua because I think Tua has the ability. But the problem with Tua is, as we all knew coming in, durability was a big concern with him. And it's played out that just as he was injured in college, he is now dealing with that same thing here at the NFL.
Oh wow, really? I wonder why. I wonder why. My thing is when they started to tank for Tua, the whole thing that threw me off the hinges, because the guy, he had injury problems behind the best offensive line college money could buy.
Right.
What do we think is going to happen in the pros when grown men is getting after him? So that was predictable. So that was okay.
But Cam, let me say this to you. There are other GMs as well, and former GMs
that
who I can tell you, like the year before Tua came out, I had one former GM tell me if he came out that year, he would have taken him #1 overall. So there are other GMs who felt strongly about Tua as well, even though there may have been concerns about durability. Mm-hmm. That being said, the problem for them now is that Justin Herbert is beyond what even his supporters thought he would be. This kid is showing he has the ability to be one of the all-timers. And the Dolphins and Chris Greer are going to be tied to that, if they don't come up with a quarterback who becomes that franchise guy.
I know there's a quarterback out there. He's sitting right there right in the middle of Texas, just waiting to get on the field. And I don't know why they don't make a move. But there was a Greg Oden to Kevin Durant. That whole philosophy is that comparison was thrown out there, and I didn't like to hear
Michael Jordan.
Sam Bowie. So before we get off of that, you brought up Herbert, and as you stated, some people, his supporters, didn't think he was going to be this good.
No, they thought he. Let me clarify. I want to be clear on that. They believed he would be good, but I don't know of anyone who envisioned that he would be this good this quickly.
But he came out the gate storming. He came storming out the gates last season. Like we're in the press box, and all of a sudden he's thrown out there because we know why. And then he's still making passes on the money. What makes him so good? Is it his smarts? Is it his arm talent? Is his ability to read the defense? As you see it, what makes Herbert such a great quarterback in the NFL?
All of the above. All of the above. And the fact that he has a tremendous supporting cast around him. He's got a deep receiving core. He's got a talented running back in Austin Eckler. He's got an upgraded offensive line this year. So when you put all that together with his physical skills, his football intellect, his passion for the game, his ability to discern defenses and know where to go. I know you were at the game the other night, but that 4th and 2 at midfield at a very tenuous point in the game, with the Raiders having scored, 14 consecutive points coming out in the second half, momentum shifting. Now you got a 4th and 2 at midfield, and you decide you're going to go for it, and you decide right away. There's no hesitation. You knew once the stop was made, and one of the reasons I asked Justin so many questions about it after the game is I just wanted to know his thought process, and it wasn't just a thought process. It wasn't just a thought process in terms of where I'm going to go with the ball. It was also the thought process of where am I going to place the ball when you see a tight end who has a 6-inch height advantage over a linebacker who is not known for his coverage skills. He's known as a thumper coming downhill. Right. And so, do you just say I'm going to float it up, or do you just say I want to put it over a shoulder? I want to do this. I want to do that. So it's just fascinating to me to hear how fast he processes information and then is able to execute it.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the important part. There are many who can decipher it, who can process it, all of that, but can they execute it in those pressure situations and moments? And I'll be dang, this kid can, and he showed it the week before down at Kansas City
against the Chiefs. Yeah,
He checked out of a run call. You know, how many second-year quarterbacks do you know in a huge game for your team, and you're down at the goal line with a chance to win, and if you don't, you know what the narratives are going to be.
Right.
And you're, again, second-year guy, and your coach sends in a run call at the goal line, and you say, nope, I see a matchup I like better. And you check out of that and you go to it. I don't know many second-year quarterbacks who have that kind of confidence to say, even if they have the authority to do it, who are going to do it.
That's where I was going to go. I was going to go, not to cut you off. That's where I was going to go. So I think in how much of this is interesting to get your opinion is the tutelage that he's getting. To now, obviously, he has the new head coach, offensive coordinator, and passing coach, and Shane Day. But the tutelage that he's good in, and the confidence that they're putting in him to make these plays and do these things. I mean, that speaks volumes to Brandon Staley, doesn't it?
It's not just Brandon Staley. I think you have to go back to his rookie season with Pep Hamilton as his quarterbacks coach. You know, Pep doesn't get enough credit. Every quarterback he's worked with has had some of his best seasons, if not his best season, under Pep. So Pep took the time to learn about who Justin is as a person before they ever even got serious about football. Because one of the things you have to be able to do as a coach is understand how to get through to your player. How does he learn? How is he motivated? How is he comfortable in uncomfortable situations? How does he deal with it? All those sorts of things. And Pep did that with Justin. And so that's why when we go back to his first start last year against Kansas City, where he only learns 30 seconds before kickoff that he's going to start, and he goes out and he lights it up, except for one rookie mistake where he throws across his body and there's the interception.
Right.
They probably beat Kansas City last year. Right. So I think it starts with the foundation that Pep laid for him as a rookie. And then you come to year two, and now he has so much success in that first year. He's got his confidence and everything else. His new staff understands that, man, this guy has a high football IQ. He is able to process information quickly. He has a passion for what he's doing. And not only that, when given the opportunity, 9 times out of 10, he's going to make the right decision. And so they have instilled ultimate trust in him. And it's not a blind trust or a blind faith. He has earned this right. And to me, it blows my mind that, again, he's just in his second year. I think this kid is going to be the face of this league, along with, you know, the Patrick Mahomes of the world, and Lamar Jackson. He's going to be one of the faces of the league, if not by the end of this year, very soon.
Oh, wow. I didn't have them, honestly. I had them win 11 games this year. I did not have them overcoming the Chiefs, but they just bumped the Chiefs off. So I got to refigure. I got to go back to the drawing board and refigure some things. Clevon, you want to ask Trotter about number 33 on your team? Is he worth all the money?
Number 33 on my team.
Yeah, number 33 on me. I thought we was going to talk about Adams.
Of course, we're having a little bit of buyer's remorse right now, given all of the picks that we gave for him. He played a little bit better last week. I am a little bit disappointed in kind of his frenetic pace out there. He seems to get himself out of position quite often, and plays a lot more like, you know, a linebacker than a safety. Given the way the Seahawks have started out this season, I wish it was the NBA where one of your top 5 picks was, you know, protected just in case something horrible happens. You don't have to just give it away. You know, I kind of got, you know, talked off the ledge last week, you know, Russ doing his thing and, you know, the defense playing a little bit better. But yeah, I was a little bit emotional. I was a little bit salty last week. Before last week, with regards to the way he was playing, it just seemed like he wasn't worth, you know, all of that they gave up for him. I know that it was an all-in type of move, and they were 12-4 last year. Let's not, you know, get that part twisted. Obviously, the way the playoffs happened was very disappointing, and he was supposed to be an integral part of, you know, the future. And so long as he stays healthy, I know he's going to give it, you know, a lot of effort, but sometimes that effort is somewhat misguided, in my opinion. And I'm hoping that they can put enough pieces together and hold this thing together to make it not just complete total fleecing by the Jets.
Yeah, just be, and I hate this word. Trust me, I hate this word, but just be patient. You know, give him a minute. Jamal's got, you know, an elite skill set, but you have to use him the right way. And I think even though he was there a year ago, I think they're still learning how to use him, having lost some parts that were there a year ago. He'll be fine. He'll be fine again if they play to his strengths. And the other thing,
what is the best way to use him in your opinion?
Well, he's not a coverage guy. We know that.
Right. And so when he drops out into coverage, he looks very lost. Exactly. And he looks like he has those stiff hips where he has to come to complete stop to change direction. And that's never a good thing.
Yeah. So why would you put him in that situation?
But has he got a sack rushing the quarterback?
Not yet, because he's always up around the line of scrimmage and like, you know, you're not bluffing, you're not pretending like you're gonna come. No, you're coming. That's what you do. So, you know, that, you know, ducking it out, it's like, no, man, if you're up here, you're coming.
But he's that guy that has to have up front that talent around him too to make him more effective. So that the focus isn't on him to say, you know, he's coming.
Right.
I hesitate here and I pause for a minute because, you know, I think, look, I like Pete and I like John. I think that as a fan, what I would want out of my front office and my coaches are people who are all in trying to win every year, win that championship. And I'm not saying that others aren't interested, but Pete and John are aggressive in that way. And sometimes you're going to miss.
True.
But I appreciate that. I want you to hit more than you miss, obviously.
But yeah,
but I also appreciate the effort,
the aggressiveness. So we get just a couple more. My first question is: Lashawn McCoy, is he a Hall of Famer? Okay, that says enough right there.
Hang on, let me say it this way, because I'm one of those people. I'm hard. Like as a voter, I say if I have to think about you, you're not a Hall of Famer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're pretty tough. We're pretty tough too. I just wanted to get your opinion.
No, but the thing is, it's not the Jim Trotter Hall of Fame. So there are guys who are in who I don't think belong in, but there are 48 people who vote. Yeah. So the reason I hesitate when you ask me that is I may think one thing, but that may not be the mood of the room. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
So, like, I thought it was ridiculous. Terrell Owens had to wait 3 years to get in. I'm like, he was a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, we kind of know what that was. We kind of know what that was.
But I'm just saying, you know, it's crazy. I look at even, for instance, let's talk non-players, coaches. You know, Tom Flores had to wait until this past year to get in. The man had he had the highest winning percentage behind only Vince Lombardi of coaches with 10 or more playoff games, I should say. Mm-hmm. His winning percentage was second highest to only Vince Lombardi. He won 2 championships, multiple championships.
Right, yeah.
And yet folks didn't think he was deserving to go in, but we got other coaches who didn't win a championship.
Yeah.
Who are in the Hall. So stuff doesn't always make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that sometimes a guy is a finalist in the room, makes the cut to the final 10, and then the next year isn't even back in the room.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I agree with you.
So that's why when people bring up players for the Hall of Fame, I always hesitate, because I may think one thing, and then I may think he's not. Okay. But then he gets in, and people are like, well, what the hell? I'm like, well, it ain't my Hall of Fame. I'm just one voter.
Well, I like Shady. I thought he was exciting. He was be able to run. I think he's in the top 20 in running, and he might be in top 15 in yard from scrimmage. I thought he had a really solid career. I just didn't think he was a Hall of Famer. And then neither Clevon or I believe Urban's going to finish this his contract out down in Duval County. Do you think this little situation is this an out for Irvin, a chance for him to pull out and get back in the college career, or do you think he finished the season?
I think he finishes the season. But I said before the season even started, I didn't think he was going to last. And it wasn't because of this. It was the fact that if you look at his track record in college, I forgot exactly how many years he's coached total in college. But I think he had one losing season out of what? I think it's like 13 or something.
Yeah, 12 or 13, exactly.
So from an ego standpoint and a pride standpoint, that's hard for any coach to go from that to taking over a team like Jacksonville. And my thinking when I said it and wrote it before the season was, psychologically, I didn't think he was going to be able to deal with that.
Yeah.
And we have seen him even before this incident at the bar, where you could see the toll it was taking on him psychologically. So that was my reason for it. Now, this other stuff that's gone on, you know, I said this to someone, and again, I'm saying this with no inside information or anything.
Okay.
But I said to someone Monday that I almost felt like he wanted to be caught doing that. Because you can't be that naive or stupid. You can't be Urban Meyer in a bar.
At your bar
with an Ohio State sweater on and having some woman grinding in your lap who is not your wife.
Yeah.
And think that in this day and age, there won't be a cell phone that's recording it. I just have a hard time believing you are that naive or stupid. So
that's why I asked, was this an out for him? Was this a kind of a way out? Did he going to see this opportunity to kind of make his escape? Because
I don't think during the season. I think it could be after the season.
Yeah.
But I'd be very surprised if it happened during the season.
Mr. Trotter, we want to thank you again. Let the people know where they can find you.
NFL Network, NFL.com, and Jim Trotter _NFL.
And we appreciate your time, man. And we really appreciate your feedback. There's a lot more that we could talk about, man. We do NFL every week, man. It's been, somebody once told me we can't talk NFL 52 weeks of the year.
I said sports.
Okay.
Wait, say that again?
So
I said there was a slow period, you know, from like June to, you know, mid-August that it's a little sluggish, but
nah, bro, you can do it 52 weeks out of the year. That's the one thing the NFL has mastered, is they have turned even the mundane into headlines.
Yeah.
You know, if they could make money by having a show about players changing out of their jerseys after practice, they will find a way to do it. And the sad part is
people will watch it.
You will watch it. And they know it. And I say this all the time. We are like Pavlov's dogs, man. When that whistle blows or you hear NFL, you come running. And they figured out, so 52 weeks, that's easy, man.
Yeah.
People always say to me, what do you do in the off season? I said, when is that? You know, because I don't know of an off season. The stuff this is the easy part, to be honest with you.
Right.
Season.
Once the season, once the season, you get in the rhythm, it's games.
And everything's right in front of you. You know,
I definitely stand corrected. There is enough content there, and we're good enough at it, and we have a good enough back and forth to definitely make it happen and make it interesting. So
absolutely. And if someone will manufacture something, and there'll be news.
Yeah, there's some education. You know, it gets kind of tiresome educating this guy every week. But when you come back on the show, man, you can help me out with the process.
Yeah, please come back about week 10 and see where we are head to head on many topics.
I got you. We'll do it again. I appreciate you fellas having me.
No, thanks again, man. Really appreciate it. Have a good evening.
No, you guys too. Appreciate it.
Later. Peace. Yeah, I want to get that. I don't know exactly what you want to ask him, but I figured Jamal Adams would be a good topic to kind of touch on.
That was, and I mean, we were able to, kind of get into that. I thought you guys were going to come back to me with the Herbert, and where I was going to go with that one is that it has already been established that the Dolphins made that mistake, right? But what hasn't been established is it's going to be Burrow and Herbert now.
See, so I didn't want to. I could have spent the whole 20 minutes on the Dolphins and Herbert. I just don't. And everybody's saying that the Dolphins made the mistake with Herbert. The Dolphins made the mistake with Herbert. You, Cleveland, I told you this. That's not where the Dolphins made the mistake. We made the mistake in drafting Tua. We should have threw. Dude, you told me three. It'll take 3 picks, right? You told me last year. No, you give me 3 number ones. Okay, and I told you, I'll give you 2 and then 1 next year. We wasted those number 1 picks. We drafted Andrew Jackson, Austin Jackson, the tackle from USC, who gave up half of his bone marrow to his sister, and then we drafted the cornerback. We wasted those picks. The cornerback doesn't even dress. Jackson gets abused more than you and I would be on the field. And then we know what Tua's doing. So we wasted those picks. I would have given those to Cincinnati for Burrow. And then we could have talked, okay, what else do you want? I was ready to do that. That's the mistake they didn't go hard enough for Burrow. That's the mistake that was made, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, of course it looks like that now, Cam. That's how it always looks with quarterbacks when they hit.
Clevon, I said that last year. Don't give me that, Clevon. You heard me say that last year. You heard me.
I know.
We can go back.
But the reason, it looks beautiful now because he didn't hit. Quarterbacks don't hit. No, do you remember? No. And it was the most predictable. I was so glad that we did this exercise, man. We did the exercise of the biggest draft busts, right? Okay. And do you remember what they all were? They were all quarterbacks or some defensive lineman that was just supposed to just chew up quarterbacks that could never get to them. Right?
Yeah.
So you miss on quarterbacks all the time.
Cleveland,
the time.
I don't feel that this is so predictable.
No, it wasn't.
Cleveland,
Joe Burrow's production was not predictable. That's like saying Trevor Lawrence's
Tua failing was predictable. Tua being injured was predictable. Cleveland, you heard me for 2 years say this. Don't act like you didn't hear me say this.
Tua's being injured was,
that was predictable.
A risk that you were taking, but you're acting like Joe Burrow. I mean, you said the same thing about Andrew Luck.
Now you. At least Andrew Luck did get to the AFC Championship.
He did.
He only played 5 years. I mean, at least there was some 5 tough years that he played. I mean, he showed some grit and toughness. At least,
but you wouldn't rather have a quarterback that played for 10 years than Andrew Luck.
I mean, I wasn't on the we got to draft Tua. I mean, excuse me, we got to draft Herbert. I just wasn't on we got to draft Herbert. So I'm not going to act like I was saying Herbert's going to be this and that. I'm not going there. I'm not acting like that. I said you need to go all in for Burrow. Period.
And like Trotter said, I mean, even his biggest fans didn't think he was going to be this good. I mean, this is way beyond their
expectations. So, man, it was really cool to get him on the show. So, what do you think? What do you expect from Josh Gordon going into KC? You expect anything? Like, was that a reach for KC?
Wasn't a reach for KC whatsoever because they don't have anything to lose. They were already in the Super Bowl and they're already a Super Bowl caliber team. So if you can add more firepower, that's great. What I expect for him is in 8 weeks to relapse and again be in the protocol. I don't trust him.
But they're not testing though for marijuana, and that's what.
Man, so what were they testing for before that he was suspended?
They were testing for marijuana.
No, they weren't last year.
Oh, so what was it? Okay.
They never did say. They never did say. Okay. They just said he couldn't play.
What you guys giving him up there in Seattle? Come on now. You guys to blame yourself.
Hey man, we were giving him. You know what we were giving him, Cam? 23 hours of supervision.
Pete Carroll had the goons on the lookout.
Well, I guess, but that 24th hour,
you guys gave him the Dak treatment.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay,
you guys gave him the Des Bryant treatment, like they did in Dallas.
and still couldn't work it out. That's what's so frustrating. So yeah, good luck to you, Casey. I hope the barbecue was enough to keep him off of his demons and all that, man. But you're going to be mad when it comes to week 9 and he's had a bunch of production and be like, oh, really? No more this year or next year? Oh,
What do you think about the beef? Here we got our guy chiming in right there. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I'm not familiar, but yeah, I like you. Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it, bro.
What do you think about the Ravens beef with the Broncos? The Broncos and Vic Fangio beefing that the Ravens running the ball, going for the record, going for the X amount of consecutive 100-yard games versus kneeling the ball. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, that's kind of corny. That's a weird type of stat that you don't really need to do that late in the game just to prolong that kind of a weird streak. I mean, if it was something that was somewhat meaningful and impactful to the game, I don't mind you throwing a 5-yard pass when you're 97 300-yard games into it, man. But just some rushing performances, yeah, that's kind of weak.
Okay, so let's go back to Monday night, or excuse me, not Monday night, Sunday night. What did you see Sunday night? I know everybody was tuned in. What did you see Sunday night? And the coaching, Belichick. I mean, it came down to a 3-point game. This is why I'm going on another tangent here. This is why I can't give this guy the greatest of all time. It was under a 3-point win. Under a 3-point win. If Belichick wins it, I don't know why on 4th and 3 Belichick should have went for it instead of trying to kick the 56-yard field goal. I mean, the guy was at one point in the second half, the guy completed 18 straight passes. He got the pass blocked on 3rd down. Have him roll out, hit the tight end coming underneath, have him run forward, pick up 3 yards. Come on, let's keep this thing moving. But I think Belichick kind of choked up there and settled for that 56-yard field goal. However, if that field goal is just a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, it goes in, they take the lead there. And again, this is why I can't give this guy the greatest of all time, because his first, second, third Super Bowl was within 3 points. Seattle gave him a gift. He came back against the Falcons, who ain't never been right since. And with the last one they beat the Rams, who they only scored 13 points in that game. Like, that wasn't, he didn't blow anybody out like Steve Young did. Like Joe Montana blew cats out. You know what I'm saying? That was a sheer show of dominance when those Montana won the Super Bowls. The only one was close was against the Bengals. And again, they scored the touchdown to win the game. It wasn't a field goal. You follow what I'm saying? That's why I can't get this guy greatest of all time. But obviously, I'm a little biased. Your thoughts on what happened Sunday night?
Well, sure. And, I understand it. It is clearly biased as to why you won't give him the greatest of all time. You just ran down 7 times that this cat won the Super Bowl. And, oh, man, this happened. And then that next Super Bowl, this happened. And then that next Super Bowl, this happened. And then that 4th Super Bowl. And that 5th Super Bowl. I don't even count that 6th Super Bowl. And that 7th was all right. That's exactly how you sound right now, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, really?
You just ran down 7 times he won the Super Bowl, not in the fashion that you would have liked him to win it in. And then you're not giving him the greatest of all time because he went toe-to-toe with his mentor at 42 years old and didn't cover the spread, but still won.
What, by what, 2 points?
Didn't win by enough points for you, huh? Because a win is not a win when Tom Brady's doing it. It's got to be in some spectacular, illustrious form to fit into your mold. And we're not even counting the AFC Championship games that he lost. Because if you throw those in there, what are we talking about here, man?
Coaches
don't win games. What you saw is that coaches don't win games.
Oh, here you go.
Talent win games.
Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. So
Bill Belichick has not made the playoffs since Tom Brady left, and he's not going to make the playoffs this year. Okay? He's not going to make the playoffs next year. And then what are you going to say about your great coach without his golden boy? Lucky Gronk wasn't out there. You're lucky Gronk wasn't out there trying to show out in the same way Tom was. They really would have put on a show for Bill.
If somebody else was out there, they would have really. If he had more help, they would have put on a better show.
Oh, man. Are you kidding? If Tom and Gronk came back to New England in front of Bill,
if he had more help,
who shunned them both?
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
No, you stop. You trying to tell me how 7 times he won the Super Bowl in some unorthodox fashion or something? Come on, man. I can see if you did that once or twice, but when you start talking about 7 times, man,
I mean,
a few too many times, Cam. It's a few too many Super Bowl rings.
I mean, if you want to ignore the facts of the matter, that's fine.
How am I ignoring the facts? 7-0.
No, it's not 7-0. Actually, it's not 7-0.
7-1. Oh, I'm sorry. So we're not even talking about the perfect season. We don't even bring up the perfect season.
No,
because that's really his best performance. Was the perfect
that was
to the Super Bowl.
But what happened in the big time? What happened?
Oh, so sorry. You're right, Cam. 7-1.
I mean, no, it's not even 7-1. What are you talking about? They lost to the Eagles. Right, so there's 2 losses.
Okay, they got some losses in there. You're right. They got some losses.
It's not like the guys.
I forgot, but it just gives him more Super Bowl appearances, which makes it even grosser, right?
No, but see, everybody's glossing over and says, okay, he made it to Super Bowl that time.
Glossing over what, Cam?
But he made it to the Super Bowl. Everybody just wants to say, oh, he made it to the Super Bowl X amount of times, but you don't recognize. You're not paying attention to the maestro on the other side of the ball that's holding teams down, that's shutting teams out, that's shutting Peyton Manning out.
Okay, and
they're shutting Peyton.
Is his voice? Did he break his larynx since Tom left? Did Tom take his larynx with him? Because he's not maestroing nothing right now. He's trying to send Mac Jones out there, see what he can do.
And Mac Jones almost beat him. That's all I'm saying. Mac Jones almost beat him, and so we'll leave it at that, and we'll see how the things progress.
Sure.
Let's get into these wins and losses from last week. Let's start off with your boys. The Seahawks rebound, and they had an impressive win. I know you guys are a little happy over. They had an impressive win over the Niners. So kudos to you guys, man. What's the mood? Everything back to normal over there? Everybody happy over there or what?
I mean, not really back to normal, Cam. I think everybody is still shell-shocked from the way they looked in Minnesota. Just so many holes, so many weaknesses that, it was kind of hard to take them serious, man. I was, thankful that they came through with the victory and thankful that they were trotting Trey Lance out there, to try and, make it happen. And, clearly he wasn't ready. And we were able to take advantage. So, we'll see what happens tomorrow. But, yeah, they got some work to do.
And you called it. You were wishing and hoping that the Rams got upset. And so the Cardinals rout the Rams. That was a good game, just as you anticipated. I give you credit for calling that one. And the Cowboys showed up against the Panthers, who, I mean, nobody's really high on the Panthers, are they?
No, I think they were surprised with the way that they played against certain teams, but put them in a certain situation. Make Sam Darnold make a few too many plays, and they look very average. And without Christian Jackson, McCaffrey back there as a threat, it's always a difficult road to hoe for the Panthers. So they did the best they could, but you certainly see their weaknesses. We've only seen their strengths at this point. So.
The Dolphins lose to the winless Colts. I'm pretty much done with this regime. We heard about it. You can
wait. Hold up. Whoa! Back up.
You can call your boy Steven
back
Nelson.
Up. Hey, Cam, back up.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Belichick disciple, man. You better put some spec on his name. That's a Belichick disciple. You just talked me to death about coaching and how Tom wouldn't be nothing without Bill. Well, damn. And now you're just going to run out on the Dolphins because they're not going to make the playoffs this year again for like the fifth consecutive year. I mean,
you can't go into a job interview and say I was a New England Patriots defensive coordinator. Nobody in the last 20 years can go into a job interview and say that without getting laughed at if I was in the room.
Oh, Romeo Cornell has done that numerous times and got head coaching jobs.
And where's he at now?
He's a defensive coordinator somewhere, but he's been a head coach like 3 times.
Yeah, and have you had any success? Exactly.
Yeah, it's had some success over there in Cleveland, as a matter of fact.
No, he didn't. No, he's not there in Cleveland.
Did some things with Houston, as a matter of fact.
Again, you can't say you're the defensive coordinator of the New England Patriots over the last 20 years and not get laughed at because they've been putrid. They're not doing the job. That's like saying I'm Michael Jordan's trainer. What does that do? That you are not doing anything. So that's pretty sad and it's atrocious. It's okay. Do you see anything?
So your mutiny your mutiny is twofold. Not only are you mutinying on the Dolphins, which I applaud you for finally coming to your senses, and you're also mutinying on the whole fact that coaching is everything. So this is probably an eye-opening awakening for you. So
no. So I didn't get Trotter to admit to it, but Brandon Staley. So we talked about how great Herbert's looking, but there had to be some direction there. In fact, you did hear him say Pep Hamilton did a tremendous job. He doesn't get any credit. You heard that, right? You did hear him say Pep Hamilton doesn't get any credit.
That's true.
So that does tell you there's something there. And then you say the Chargers. There's a reason you put them in your top 5, and the reason you put them in your top 5 is not all because of Justin Herbert. It's because of the culture, the camaraderie that Brandon Staley's building there. Well,
it's really, Cam, if you want to be perfectly honest with you, it's because of that cat I saw, Marshall Faulk 2.0, aka bar none, aka Austin Eckler. Kind of running that New Orleans offense. Yeah, he looks kind of unstoppable at times.
He looks pretty good. He looks pretty good. Titan. So the Dolphins.
Derwin James is healthy. I will give you that.
Derwin James look good. They're a collective team there. The Titans lose to the Jets. I thought that was a bad loss. Saints losing to the Giants. I thought that was a bad loss. Cleveland, we're gonna have to cut this show short tonight. I am in the building unexpectedly. I'm in the Clippers arena right now. Clippers game has started. I'm in the media room trying to do my press conference, and I got all the media people coming up wondering what the hell are you doing here while the game is going on. So I'm feeling a little bad right now. We're gonna have to cut this short.
Well, hey, Mr. Balmer, no disrespect to you. We were trying to get a few things in here. Man, we always know that whatever you do and want to do takes precedence over what we're doing. And hey, man, we can do this another time, Cam. No problem.
So I do want to give you credit. Our picks for the week, you win the week in the picks 14-11. Picks against the spread, you were 1, I was 0. So you win 15-11. And then also, what we have? Our confidence picks. You didn't have a good week.
I took some hits. at the top.
I won 12-8. But then you're gonna you're happy to know that you in the fantasy football league, you're 3-1, I'm 2-2. So you got some head up there. And real quickly, fans, we're gonna have to catch up next week. It has to be a long week, but let's run down our supremacy rankings. We both have the Cardinals at top. I have Cardinals, Chiefs, Rams, Bucks, and Packers. You have the Cardinals, Bills, Bucks, Rams, and Chargers.
That one sounds dope, doesn't it? Sounds way better than your list.
How did the
my list is whooping your list?
I got the Chiefs defending.
You can't see that. What?
Yeah. But
you can't see that. I'm sorry, 2? Is that what you said?
At 2, yeah. I got the Cardinals, Chiefs, Rams, Bucks. I mean, yeah.
You know. Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to find out this week, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna have to find out this week. Clevon, thank you for tuning in, man. I'm sorry to cut the show short, but I can't go on with good conscience. Continue to do this in here.
Right on, man. Keep your Clipper passes, man. Tell Ty Lue I say what's up, and Mr. Balmer, as always.
I'll be in touch.
Anytime you want to be on the show, anytime you want to, hang out, talk, man. We're available.
All right, I'll be in touch with you, bro.
Right on.
Later.